Okay, and good morning. So, what shall we call today? Shall we call ourselves Christians, some of us, and wobbles? Wobbles. Thinking of a target and the arrow kind of wobbles and hits off on the edge. That's okay. So, but today we will do Deuteronomy 6. Got the paper printed off from crosswalk.com. This is the King James Version. Deuteronomy 6, verses 10 through 12. And it shall be, when the Lord thy God shall have brought thee into the land which he sware unto their fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities, which thou buildest not, and houses full of all good things, which thou fillest not, and wells digged, which thou diggest not, vineyards and olive trees, which thou plantest not, when thou shalt have eaten and be full. In the King James, we're reading, therefore, we get the whilst and the digst and the diggest and the fillest, and hopefully those words are not too odd to you. Hopefully you've studied a little Bible and therefore you can speak those funny words. Now we go on to verse 12 here. We've been digging and they've been building and they've been having all sorts of things filled up, and they didn't do it, but it's theirs, and we have such things brought to us too. And really, what could we ever build? What could we ever dig? What could we ever field? Not us. It's all God's stuff. Then beware, lest thou forget the Lord. That's the old story about the person who was late for an appointment. Very important business appointment. Gonna make all sorts of money. And needed that parking space so he could get in there and do what he was gonna do or what she was gonna do. So they were praying, God, help me find a parking space so I can get in there quick and do what I gotta do. And just as and promising all sorts of things, I'll go to church every week. I'll give this to the Lord. I'll give that to the Lord. I'll give back everything that they owe the Lord. And then all of a sudden the parking space opens up and, oh, never mind, God, found one. Aha! Yeah. Yeah. Then beware lest thou forget the Lord, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. So, this stuff is spread all over the Bible. Part of it's in Numbers, part of it's in Deuteronomy, part of it's in Exodus, maybe even some of it's in Genesis, I forget. But it's just all over. And so at some point, you might want to go to the storynow.net and watch them in chronological fashion present these pieces of the Bible. And that might be a good thing anyway to get some sheets from the storynow.net if you want to read the other scriptures that interweave with this, or maybe you need a cross-reference Bible. On crosswalk.com in the King James Version, there's a cross-reference Bible where you can look at the verses and cross-reference over to the other ones. hopefully it cross-references that for you. I think cross-referencing was originally brought in because of prophecies. They're prophecies that apply to Jesus, and Jesus is talking and referring back to Old Testament verses so that people would understand, if they didn't understand the Bible well enough, could cross-reference those verses. So that's something you might want to do. And in the meantime, I guess that's pretty much all for me today. I've read a few verses. I'm here to bless your day and to hope that these verses mean something to you, and that seeing the silliness of me will put into you the idea that God loves even silly things like me. He loves you, and I'm trying to love you as well as He does. Sometimes I don't reach there, but there you go. And so y'all have a good day, and this video will go on beyond this because I'm not exactly sure how it stops. But so the message ends at God loves you, and so do I, but the message goes on, and on and on and on and on. So, just some extra notes that you may or may not hear. The outside is still cold here in Illinois. It hasn't decided to give up on winter yet, but I understand that we should be warm in the next few days. So last night, within the rain that was falling, there was supposed to be some snow falling as well. God does different things in different parts of the earth. Some places are very hot, some places are very cold, some places are in between. This is an interesting place. And Houston was an interesting place. And certainly I hope that everybody is getting dried out down in the parts of Houston that got a lot of water the other day. And that includes Fralesburg out there by New Ulm. As I continue to rattle. That's pretty country out there in New Ulm and Fralesburg, where the First Baptist Church Houston singles of old went out and had a reunion. I had to miss it. I'm sorry I had to miss that reunion. Best of wishes to y'all. Is it about time that I actually tried to cut this thing off and see how many seconds the capture cuts off from me? Maybe I'll do that at an even, let's see, I'll stop it at an even 8 minutes and 45 seconds, and then we'll see